How does someone eat noodles right after killing someone? Calm, unhurried, like a man with nothing left to regret. By the time you understand why he looks like that, you will not be able to get the image out of your head. Because this story is not really about a killer. It is about a girl, and what the world did to her, and what he did after. Her name is Pin-yu, a documentary researcher. She built this nightmare herself, file by file, late night by late night, until the case got into her sleep. She was running through rain-soaked woods when she woke up. The Rainstorm killer's materials were still spread across her desk. The man she has been studying is Li Jen-yao. In 2014, he walked into a police station and confessed to a series of murders. He named every victim, every location, every method. Then he stopped. He never explained why. Now he's on death row. That gap is what her director Ta Wei has become obsessed with. He wants to make a documentary. He wants to get inside the silence. And because he is stuck in quarantine after an infection, he sends Pin-yu to the prison alone for the first meeting. She is not ready. She knows it the second she walks in. Jen-yao is eerily quiet. When she fumbles her words, he manages to calm her without drawing attention to it. She leaves with the interview secured and a feeling she cannot name trailing behind her, a weird sense of familiarity with someone she has never met. On the way home, she stops to collect her cousin from a bar. She tells her about the interview and how it went. At the mention of Jen-yao's name, something crosses Yun-chen's face, an expression Pin-yu cannot read, and Yun-chen does not explain. On their way home, a couple approaches Pin-yu. The wife rushes straight to her, tries to hand her some fruit, and calls her by a name that is not hers. Xiao Tung, her daughter's name. The husband gently pulls her away and apologizes. Pin-yu watches them go. Yun-chen watches too, with that same unreadable expression. That night, writing up her notes, Pin-yu's mind keeps drifting to Jen-yao's face. She gets up to fill a glass of water. On the table, there is a disc she did not put there. Claire de Lune. She drifts. And then she is somewhere else entirely. A warm room. A bed. Jen-yao's arms around her. She snaps awake from a dream that was not hers to have. A sex dream about a convicted killer. She stands in her apartment, trying to understand what just happened. She goes to the bathroom to splash water on her face. Then she sees it. The face in the mirror is not hers. Pin-yu screams, drags Yun-chen to the bathroom. The girl is gone. She tells herself it is the apartment. The neighbors warned her when she moved in. The previous tenant died on a mountain. She almost convinces herself. Believing that the apartment is haunted, Pin-yu calls the landlady the next day. The landlady says there is nothing wrong with her apartment, and if Pin-yu wants to leave, she has to forego the deposit. Inside, the crew sets up and starts the interview with Jen-yao. Ta Wei tries to get him to talk about his childhood and growing up, but he refuses to answer. Ta Wei asks about his high school and if he had any friends, and Jen-yao says he did not have any. Ta Wei asks him about the murders and what happened, but Jen-yao only stares at Pin-yu. Ta Wei asks Pin-yu to take over, but Jen-yao is still not responsive. The only question he responds to is when Pin-yu asks why he killed his classmates. He replies that he hated rainy days. Crazy, right? At night, Ta Wei decides to take advantage of the rain to shoot some footage for the documentary, and Pin-yu accompanies him. While holding an umbrella for Ta Wei, Pin-yu hears a loud sound like a school bell. She then hears the voices of someone talking about making a deal, where the three of them would go somewhere again. Pin-yu looks around, and to her surprise, she sees the girl in uniform again in the distance under the rain. Clear as day, she shows Ta Wei the girl, but he does not see anyone. Later, Pin-yu is at home watching the footage taken by Ta Wei. She reviews the part where she pointed to the girl, but there is no one in the video. Pin-yu calls Yun-chen to tell her that she saw the girl again, when the girl suddenly appears and asks if Pin-yu is looking for her. It's 2007, and Jen-yao is 17. He washes dishes until midnight to cover interest on debts his father ran up. Yet gangsters take all the money. He comes home to a man who beats him, and a mother who lets it happen and calls it respect. The school notices the bruises. They are worried about the wounds on his face. He tells them he fell from a motorbike. They file a note. They move on. That afternoon, he goes up to the school rooftop, trying to clear his head. There he sees her. A beautiful girl dancing alone. She is completely unguarded up here, practicing her ballet solo with the kind of focus that makes the rest of the world disappear. Her name is Xiao Teng. She is the school's best dancer, watching her wait for an upcoming performance. She notices he is hungry and offers him the chicken leg her mother packed for lunch. Jen-yao eats it, and she admits that she was actually hungry. So they sneak around the school together to buy a replacement bento and bring it back to the roof. They eat. They talk like people who have forgotten, briefly, that they both have somewhere difficult to go home to. She tells him her name again and says she will see him tomorrow. Same time, same place. He spends the entire day smiling alone. He can't wait to see her tomorrow. That night, the collectors find him outside work and take his entire month's wages for interest. After working so hard, they beat him up, and he tells them he'll direct them to his father so they can collect the money. The gangsters follow him home, and Jen-yao runs to drag his mother out. He tells her they're free now to let the gangsters deal with him. Alas, she's obsessed with her abusive husband. She slaps Jen-yao and tells him she's standing by her husband. The next day at school, Jen-yao does not show up at the rooftop. During ballet practice, Xiao Teng is chosen for the solo at the upcoming school dance. Her friends are happy for her. But there is one who seems angry. While she is chatting happily with her friends, Jen-yao passes by the dance room. Xiao Teng notices him and waves, but he ignores her and walks away. Now we suddenly see a girl, Chan Enya, years later, running for her life through the woods on a rainy night. Jen-yao is pursuing her with a crowbar. The girl can no longer run and starts pleading for her life, asking Jen-yao why he is after her. Jen-yao bashes her head in with the crowbar. Pinyu wakes up at a train station with no memory of how she got there. Yunchen collects her after the police call. The building manager saw her leave in a complete daze. The CCTV shows Pinyu crying in the elevator, walking out, going somewhere with the vacant look of a person who has handed the wheel to something else. Back inside, her research files are scattered across the floor. Her computer search history is full of queries about Jen-yao she never typed. Pinyu tries to rationalize it. Maybe she is one of his victims. Maybe they were connected in a past life. Maybe there is an explanation that does not require her to believe what she is starting to believe. She pulls herself together and goes to work. Tawei has arranged an interview with Officer Lau, the detective who handled Jen-yao's case. Officer Lau explains that Jen-yao's first murder was sloppy, impulsive. The ones that followed were different, meticulous. He cleaned every scene, left nothing behind. After killing Lin Mengheng, he sat down and finished a bowl of noodles. After killing Chang Enya in the woods, he burned her photographs and ballet dresses. He never once slipped. He was caught because he walked into a police station and confessed. And during that confession, Jen-yao gave them everything. Every name, every location, every detail, except one. He never disclosed his motive, as if he was protecting a significant secret. That night, Pinyu sits alone in her apartment and tries to reason with the ghost directly. Out loud, she asks her not to possess her without warning. The doorbell rings. Yunchen is there, worried she might sleepwalk again. The next morning, Pinyu learns from a neighbor that the previous tenant was Chan Enya. She looks her up online, one of Jen-yao's victims. She calls Yunchen to tell her. The girl in the mirror is not Enya, but Yunchen knows more than she says, because that day she is already at the prison. She confronts him for agreeing to the documentary. She reminds him what they agreed. He dies alone, quietly. Everything stays buried. The reveal lands almost as an aside. Yunchen knew him before any of this. Not from news reports, not from research. All three of them went to the same high school. Before this story goes back in time, sit with one question. If every institution built to protect people fails, and the people with power use that power to make the failure permanent, and someone decides to take the matter into their own hands, is what they do next justice, or is the word justice doing too much work? Tawei and Pinyu had visited the childhood home before the prison trip. The mother agreed to talk. Tawei asks about the father. She says he was a good man until he lost his job. Then he became someone else entirely. He started hitting her. Jen-yao tried to stop it, so the father started hitting Jen-yao too. She always told Jen-yao not to fight back. A son should not hit his father. She wonders aloud if that belief changed him. Pinyu asks the question Tae does not. Why did you endure it for 10 years? The mother says, I am just a woman. I could not win. She stops the interview. Pinyu is still trying to think her way through this rationally when the bells start. Not outside. Inside her apartment, from every direction at once. A voice calling Xiao Tung. But she is not in her apartment anymore. She is on a school rooftop, Xiao Tung standing in front of her. Pinyu asks why she brought her here. Xiao Tung says, You came on your own, because you want answers. She steps forward and presses her forehead to Pinyu's. The past opens up. This is the mechanism. Every fragment of 2007 that Pinyu will carry from here on came through that touch. Xiao Tung is not just haunting her, she is briefing her. Pinyu lives in Chanenya's apartment, surrounded by the residue of what happened. Xiao Tung chose her specifically. Back in 2007, we see the gangsters harassing Jen-yao again. They've given him an amulet to start selling at school. When he says no, they beat him until he agrees. He's tired and defeated and heads home, about to break down. He opens the door. He sees his mom packing in a hurry. She hands him some money. She says she's going to visit a friend and leaves. He knows she's lying. His own mother is abandoning him, choosing her terrible husband over her son. He watches her leave and calls her on the phone. He begs her to come back. The line dies. At a bus stop across the city, his mother almost turns back. His father says that as long as they are not here, the gang will leave the boy alone. He says it like it is a kindness. Jen-yao rides without a destination. He closes his eyes, stretches his arms out, tries to feel the problems falling off him. He passes a girl on the road. Xiao Tung watches him go. Then, the crash. She called the ambulance and stayed. When the police arrived, because a minor had been riding illegally, she rushed to warn him first. He was already gone from the room. She found him outside and they hid together until the police left. She walked him all the way home and stayed, even when he pushed her away. He told her his parents had left. She did not argue, she just stayed. The next day at school, she finds him on the rooftop after watching classmates mock him for being poor. She invites him to eat. He refuses. She goes to his house that evening and tells him plainly that they are friends, and that is not a decision he gets to make alone. She walks home happy. He shows up on the rooftop the next day. For a few weeks, the roof is enough. They eat, they talk. Nobody bothers them up there. Except Ouyang Ti has noticed. He is a senior with money and a temper, and he has been pursuing Xiao Tung for months. She keeps saying no. So, he has started treating no like a problem to solve. He is paying close attention to what she cares about. There is a third person in this story, and she has been there the whole time. Yunchen has been Xiao Tung's closest friend since they were children. She watched a little girl dancing through a window once and felt something pull toward it, because her own life had none of that warmth. Her father is dead. Her mother disappeared. She was raised by a grandmother who punishes her with a scrubbing brush and tells her every time that she is becoming her mother, and that this is the worst thing imaginable. When Yunchen's grandmother passes her at school and asks her to say goodbye to her friend, Yunchen tells her Xiao Tung is not her friend. The words land on Xiao Tung and stay there. The next day, Yunchen ignores her. When she tries to patch it up at lunch, Xiao Tung says she already has plans with a friend. So Yunchen watches from a distance as Jen-yao and Xiao Tung eat together on the rooftop. Someone photographs them and reports it. Both are pulled into separate offices. The military teacher gives Xiao Tung an ultimatum. Sign a letter cutting all contact with Jen-yao or lose the solo spot. Xiao Tung refuses. Jen-yao, understanding exactly what his reputation means in that room, tells the counselor he pressured her. Then Yunchen walks in and says it was her. She takes the whole thing onto herself. She gets sent home. She gets punished. That night, Xiao Tung finds her. The marks are not all old. Yunchen has been punished like this before, many times by someone who calls it discipline and means control. So she took her and run. Xiao Tung decides to take her home. Ouyang Ti sees them later that night at a convenience store. He spots Jen-yao helping Xiao Tung with the helmet as they leave together. He files it away. In the days after, Ouyang-ti's group starts targeting Yun Chen. When she slaps one of them, the whole group descends on Li Jen-yao. A teacher arrives. Ouyang-ti's group gives a coordinated, rehearsed account. Li Jen-yao was the aggressor. He is one demerit from expulsion. The teacher tells him to write a withdrawal letter. Li Jen-yao says, "Expel me." Yun Chen speaks. Quietly, precisely, she reminds the teacher of the promise the school made when her grandmother collected her. Ouyang-ti's group just broke it. The teacher has no ground left. Li Jen-yao is finally not expelled. Yun Chen tells him afterward that they are not friends. He should live his life alone and stop dragging Xiaotong into it. And if anything happens to Xiaotong, she will come for him. She means it. Ouyang-ti has been thinking bigger than a school fight. The collectors come back that same evening. They want Li Jen-yao to sell drugs at school. When he refuses, the gang leader holds him down and injects him drugs. While he drifts in and out of consciousness, he sees Ouyang-ti in the room, watching, holding a phone. He arranged this. He has been building the frame for a long time. Xiaotong cannot sleep. She feels responsible for what happened to Yun Chen and walks to the store for a drink. Li Jen-yao is already there. He fled his house when he saw the collectors waiting. She is sad. He figures it is about Yun Chen. He asks her to join him for a ride. On the bike, Xiaotong asks why he had his eyes closed, arms stretched out when he crashed. He tells her, "It is a way of leaving all the problems behind." He asks her to try it. She holds him. She leans her head on his shoulder. She says, "Being with him feels like he is taking them somewhere nobody knows them." Yun Chen's grandmother withdraws her from school. Ouyang-ti's group is waiting for something permanent. Inside Yun Chen's house, she is crushing sleeping pills into powder. The grandmother had only pretended to fall asleep. She stops Yun Chen at the door. What comes out of them in that hallway is everything. Years of grief pressed into blame. It ends with Yun Chen shoving past her and running, straight into Xiaotong, who had come to find her. Li Jen-yao has already sold his motorbike and bought a ticket to Taipei. A lawyer there agreed to look at his case. His bus is leaving just as Xiaotong and Yun Chen arrive at the station. Yun Chen has never been to Taipei. Neither has Xiaotong. Yun Chen changes the destination, so the three of them end up in Taipei with no plan and most of a night ahead of them. They eat. They take photos in a photo booth. They visit the sea. For a few hours, nothing about their actual lives is present. Xiaotong makes them promise they would come back here together, one more time. By morning, Yun Chen's plan is clear. Her mother is alive somewhere in this city, and she needs to find her. Li Jen-yao and Xiaotong help her get there. Xiaotong takes the bus home alone that night. Before she leaves, she makes Li Jen-yao promise to be at her school dance. Li Jen-yao stays in Taipei. He tells her he has a plan now. He smiles when he says it. She does not yet know what Ouyang-ti's network has already set in motion. Pinyu wakes up and rushes to see Yun Chen at the bar where she works. She asks her friend to confess, telling her that Xiaotong had shown her a lot about them. She asks Yun Chen about her name. Since the time she met Xiaotong, her name was not Shenmu. Back in 2023, Tao Wei goes home that night and searches online. He finds a video. The title alone tells him what it contains. It's a video of Xiaotong being assaulted by Ouyang-ti's crew. He watches it. He pauses it. He sits alone in a room and cries. Xiaotong walks into the office wearing Pinyu's face and sits down in front of Tao Wei. She has been building toward this moment since the beginning. She chose Pinyu because Pinyu lives in Chanenya's apartment, surrounded by what is left of all of it. She needed someone alive on the outside to hold all of it at once and carry it forward. Tao Wei eventually gets into the prison. He sits across from Li Jen-yao and lays it all out. The video, the school, Xiaotong's name, the fact that he has seen what those 6 people did. He tells Li Jen-yao that if he were Xiaotong's boyfriend, he would not have hesitated to kill every one of them. Li Jen-yao says, quietly, that Xiaotong was not his girlfriend. She was the best friend of his girlfriend, Yun Chen. Tao Wei does not believe him. He is right not to. Back in 2007, Li Jen-yao is building something. He has a job with a moving company in Taipei when a text arrives from his mother. They are back. The debts are settled. He no longer has to hide. He goes home. Stops by the school on the way. He finds Xiaotong angrily scrubbing insults Ouyang-ti's group had scrawled across his desk. She does not know he is watching. He watches her stand up for him. They go out for a meal. Ouyang-ti sees them from across the street but does not approach. Jen-yao visits his mother. He gives her money. He tells her he will not be coming back. His father hands the money back without a word. That night, Ouyang-ti calls Big K about drug deliveries. Big K says they have had to stop. One of their sellers was arrested. They need to lie low while Ouyang-ti's father finds a scapegoat. He already has someone in mind. Jen-yao's father has a gambling debt in Taipei. Big K now owns it. He visits the father with a proposal. Xiao Tung is online that same night talking to Yun Chen. She admits it for the first time. She likes Jen-yao. Yun Chen reads it. She tells her to confess. The next day, Jen-yao calls to say he is heading back to Taipei. Xiao Tung asks him out for a meal before he goes. They plan to meet at the night market that evening. But that night, police arrive at Jen-yao's house and search his luggage. They find drugs. And he runs. Ouyang-ti calls him while he is still on the street and explains it without anger, the way someone describes a plan that worked. His father agreed to plant them, sold him out for 500,000. He wanted to destroy the future, leave no exits, make sure that when Jen-yao looked for someone to believe him, he would find no one. Jen-yao finds Xiao Tung. He sits down and tells her everything. She puts her arms around him and holds on. She still does not know what Ouyang-ti has planned for her. She went to Ouyang-ti on purpose. He had photographs on his phone from the night they injected Jen-yao. Those photos were the frame. Delete them and Jen-yao had a case. So, when Ouyang-ti invited her to karaoke, she said yes and went in with a specific intention. She managed to get the phone. She slipped into a bathroom at his crew's private hangout. She found the photos and started deleting. Ouyang-ti followed her in. He looked at the screen. Then, he looked at her. Then, he grabbed her. 6 of them. They were 6 of them. Phones recording. Ready to rape her. Suddenly, Chang Enya, a girl from Xiao Tung's own dance team who had hated her for months, threw Xiao Tung's friend out of the room and closed the door. Jen-yao still got the message. He got to the address and ran into Big K's men at the entrance. They blocked him so. He fought but could not get through. He kept going until his body gave out and he was on the ground. He could hear her screaming upstairs, but he could not move. When they were done, they left. Jen-yao dragged himself off the ground and went up. She walked out without looking at him. Down the stairs, out the door, into the street. He followed the whole way home. She said nothing. He said nothing. Because what words exist for a moment like that? Her mother came out and tried to reach Jen-yao. Xiao Tung stepped between them. Inside, with her parents, she sat down and named all 6. Said each name clearly. Jen-yao was outside against the wall, and then on the ground, and then in an ambulance. He had been 10 meters away, completely powerless. He had told her he would protect her. The system is about to have its turn. Witnesses, reports, hearings, official processes. Watch what they produce. Because when this is over, you will be asked to decide something about Jen-yao. Before you answer, you need to have sat through every step of what comes next. Is the law the same thing as justice? And if they come apart, what are you left with? The medical report said it clearly. No alcohol in her system. Physical evidence consistent with exactly what she described. Ouyang-ti's mother had an informant inside the police station. Before the parents could file anything, the report was flagged. The officer who visited the family home made a gentle suggestion. Do not sue yet. Go to the school first. Let the process work. They trusted him. The school hearing was a script Ouyang-ti's group had written and rehearsed. She asked to come. She wanted to visit their usual spot. She initiated everything. The other families closed ranks. They called Xiao Tung names in front of the administrators. The administrators chose the path of least resistance. The school found nothing actionable. Jen-yao's mother runs into him at the hospital where she works as a cleaner. She tries to tell him his father has changed, that she reported the drug planting to the police, that they could start over. He does not believe her. Outside, Xiao Tung's father runs into Jen-yao. Jen-yao can only apologize. He says those boys were his classmates. He says he should have protected her. He already knows what he is going to do. He waits at the school gate for Ouyang-ti's group. The boys come out, spot him, start mocking him. Xiaoteng's father sees what is about to happen. He accelerates the truck straight at them. They scatter just in time. That incident brings Xiaoteng's father in hospital with minor injuries from the truck. Ouyang-ti's mother uses the moment. She brings Mrs. Chiang to the house. The offer is simple. Take 5 million and let it end. Or face an attempted murder charge. Watch the family buried in legal costs and see Xiaoteng's name in every tabloid while Ouyang-ti goes abroad and comes back to a clean record. Mrs. Chiang takes the money and they move to Taipei. Before they separate, she asks him to meet her 5 years from now. Their rooftop on Christmas. Xiaoteng finds her video online after they arrives. Completely public. Titled the way it was. Comments that treat her like something that happened to someone who deserved it. She breaks completely. In a city they moved to so she could heal. In front of a screen. She calls Jen-yao. She needs time. Then Jen-yao goes back to school. The ballet showcase goes ahead. Chang Enya performs Xiaoteng's solo on the stage that was supposed to be hers. Jen-yao watches the whole show. Then he waits outside. He walks up to Ouyang-ti in front of the crowd and stabs him. But Ouyang-ti survives. His family makes sure the aftermath lasts as long as possible. Bribed inmates. Extended sentence. What should have been a few years becomes 7. Jen-yao was released in January 2014. 2 years past the promise. She had come back every year. The decorations were still there when he arrived. She had kept her side of the promise even when the years kept passing without him. He stood there alone and understood exactly what he had missed. He gets work on a road crew. He sends money home. He tries to find something that feels like forward motion. He had explained moths to Xiaoteng once at his house during the Taipei days. How they navigate by the moon but confuse artificial light for it and circle the same fixed point endlessly. Butterflies move in daylight with the full horizon available to them. He told her moths and butterflies cannot exist in the same world. He always knew which one he was. One evening, a butterfly crosses his path and he follows it without thinking. It leads him to a woman walking with a cane. From behind, in the rain, the shape of her is Xiaoteng. When she turns, she is someone else entirely. Blind, calm. A radio host named Tian Qing. When he picks up her dropped cane and hands it back, he sees it on her finger. A small butterfly tattoo. Same finger, same design as Xiaoteng's. He killed people. Several were directly involved in what happened to Xiaoteng. Several were connected to the money and silence that made it permanent. His own father sold him for $500,000 to the people who started everything. He confessed completely. He protected only one thing, the reason. He gave them everything except what would have made her name part of the official record of a serial killer's motive. Was that protection or possession? Love or obsession? This story does not answer that cleanly. It just keeps asking. He went to eat before he turned himself in. He sat there and listened to the same music that was playing the afternoon Xiaoteng walked into his life on a school rooftop. He finished his meal. He paid. He walked into the rain and kept walking. He gave the confession everything except the motive. Because the motive was a girl who danced alone on a rooftop and once laughed over a stolen chicken leg bento and made him feel, briefly, like a person who might survive his own life. That was not something he was willing to put in a police report. He confessed to the murders. He kept her. Back in 2023, Pinyu has been living inside Xiaoteng's memories. Since that rooftop. What came after was not justice. But it was the only answer left to someone who had run out of every other option. Pinyu is still watching the footage. Yun Chen is still hiding with her real name tucked away. And somewhere in a cell, Jen-yao is listening to the rain. He always hated rainy days. Now you know why. This is not the end, though. The story is only just beginning. Why does Pinyu see her memories? Is the radio host Xiaoteng? This was a story about trauma, longing, and the kind of love that keeps bleeding long after it ends. But the darkest truths are still ahead. And that was the first half of Had I Not Seen the Sun. Subscribe for part 2 and tell me which drama I should break down next.